Hello everyone. A bit different, but I did say on the last few videos, if you've seen those, that I would show my entire collection. Yeah, I won't go into detail on each release and things, but just thought I'd sort of give an overview, how many films and that I've got, how it's all laid out. So I have changed it slightly, and the way I kind of work it for making videos, and the little area where I put the films I've watched ready to do the recent watches, little area with the things I'm sending off and stuff. First, I'll just quickly show you this top shelf. So yeah, it's really the only Funko Pop I've got left. The others I've like gave away or sold. Yeah, say quickly. I think I've said before when I worked in a toy shop in the past. You'd get ones that are like, I know Marcus from Xbox 2708 knows about his pops. You get ones that are vaulted or chase ones that are worth quite a lot of money. So obviously I had access to them as soon as they came off the delivery. I think 1 in 12 or so would be a chase pop. I'd sort of buy it with my discount for say like £5. Then years later I sold some of them for like £50, £30. It's quite a good profit. This is the only one I've kept. Just because, yeah, it's Biggs, Wedge, and Porkins. Don't really know Porkins too much, but Biggs and Wedge are characters out of Star Wars, but also out of the Final Fantasy games. Main reason, yeah, I kept this one is my mate bought it for me years ago for my birthday, so a bit harsh to sort of sell it when it's a gift, but also our DJ name is Biggs and Wedge, which is like two of the characters mostly out of Star Wars, I'd say people know them. Then up here you've got a lot of the DVD box sets, so the Omen, Alien Quadrilogy, Masters of Horror. This one's just got 2 films, but John Carpenter's Cigarette Burns and Stuart Gordon's Dreams of the Witch House. If you haven't seen John Carpenter's Cigarette Burns, really underrated, only an hour long, really dark story. Nightmare on Elm Street box set, only on DVD. Don't think I'll be getting the 4K set. Not only is it expensive, but I've already got the original Nightmare on Elm Street on 4K, and then other than Dream Warriors, I don't think any others I'd really want on 4K. Freddy's Dead I don't like. Some of the others ain't too bad, but yeah, I can't say I'm desperate to upgrade them to 4K. Wes Craven's New Nightmare I do like, but again, it's not really a deal breaker. Might just upgrade that to the Blu-ray box set. Sure, a lot of people have traded it in now. Tarantino set, again, only on DVD. Few VHS, I don't have too many. These are ones that are kind of nostalgic to me. You know, ones I watched as a kid. Ones like Hook, Jurassic Park, Kes were kind of formulative in my film tastes and that. Didn't actually realise, but I've got the little DVD set of Narnia up there. And up on this top shelf, you've got an air freshener. Wanted set on DVD, it's Western collection. The game is actually a Blu-ray, but it's just in a big sort of box from Arrow. I think it's Arrow Academy. Underrated film by Christopher Nolan with Michael Douglas and Sean Penn. Pink Panther box set on DVD. Don't really have any toys anymore, but it's a collector's one of the Yellow Submarine from the Beatles. Not only a big Beatles fan, but yeah, I think that's quite a collectible one worth a bit of money. There's my little duster. I do need to get a smaller one because it doesn't fit in some of the gaps very well. Here's the little station of things. So when I send off packages, I've got my masking tape, a few sort of films here that I'm sending on. A lot of the bubble wrap and things I've kept. Mostly other people send me. This might be appearing in a video soon, inspired by Stuart George's Home Movies, aka Sherlock George. Right, I'll show you the standard Blu-rays. So I've got more behind me, but they're the boutique ones. So yeah, this section here. I say Blu-rays, there's 4Ks mixed in. I don't really keep them separately. Steelbooks mixed in, although I only have about 10 in the whole collection, I think. Yeah, it's all Blu-ray horror. Down to there. I like to keep at least one, like the Substance front on, not just because it's a good film or good art, but when I get some more, say, horror, I can just turn that sideways and fit them straight in without having to juggle it all around. Yeah, that's as far as the Blu-ray horror goes. Obviously, I've got a lot of horror on boutique labels I will show. Got some animated ones along here. Other than Tintin, Up, Cloud of a Chance of Meatball films, Coraline, which is quite dark. Yeah, not a massive. I won't really watch any of them anymore, but it's more for family. So when my niece and that come around, they can choose something from there rather than try and choose a horror film, which is not appropriate for them. Yeah, all the rest now are kind of mixed in. So the horror is separate, and then thrillers, westerns, drama, action, comedy, anything else you could think of is mixed. So yeah, starting at 22 Bullets, which I heard is not a good film. Another shelf there. Another shelf here. So yeah, like I say, Breakdown, for instance, is a 4K, but it's mixed in with these. Then the bottom shelf, I used to condense them all along, so the gap would sort of be in the middle. But then when I got some more Blu-rays, I'd have to move everything to the left, shelf by shelf, or if I got DVDs, I'd have to move everything to the right. So now I've kind of created this as a pivot point, so I keep a bit of a gap there, not just for future proofing, so I can, already got space to fit more films in, but so yeah, then if I just have to move, say, a few from the left off that top shelf down to here, it's quite easy without having to move everything. Because yeah, it's a shame it hasn't ever come with a shelf separating these two, so you stack them on top of each other. And when you've got a full shelf like this, I try to move a few along, but they'll all fall down in the middle, and yeah, it can be a bit annoying. So I've kept it like that. But yeah, a bit of space to grow into. Then yeah, more Blu-rays all along there. A few more there. Some more there. Some more there. And that's the end of the standard Blu-rays. Then I've got the Tartan Asia Extreme DVDs, or as Stuart calls them, Tartan Army Extreme. See if I can point. Ending there on yesterday. Then it's the DVDs of the World Cinema. Taking up those two shelves. A few more World Cinema titles here. Ending on the white ribbon. Then I've got my standard DVDs. Sort of non-horror. Oh, and a Mighty Max toy from the 90s. I know Ash from Popcorn and Horror remembers that one. Not sure if anybody else viewing will. Obviously, eventually I do want to upgrade a lot of these DVDs to Blu-ray or 4K, but a lot of them hasn't upgraded yet. Still stuck on DVD. Some have, but it's just, getting the money and around to upgrading. I'll focus on upgrading stuff, and then, a load of new releases will come out. When I say new releases, I mean, ones that have just been released, sort of new out in cinema a while ago, and then, upgraded versions of older films that have just got a release. So, yeah, some months, a lot of my budget's spent on that, so I haven't always got time to be upgrading all of these. But eventually, other than the ones that are stuck on DVD that haven't had an upgrade, sorry about that, I will eventually, I guess, turn all of these into Blu-ray or 4K, but it'll take a while. There's an air freshener. More DVDs. More DVDs. More DVDs. And then bottom two shelves, I think from 30 Days of Night, it starts to turn to horror DVDs. So yeah, even if I could get a wooden shelf to go between these, to make it easier to move them around, I don't think there'd be enough space on the DVDs to fit them. On the Blu-ray you could, there's a bigger gap. Obviously Blu-rays are like an inch shorter than DVDs. But yeah, I'm not very good at DIY, so I probably wouldn't be able to get some dowels into there to put a shelf on. It's a bit annoying. And up to here, it carries on with the horror DVDs. Down to there. I won't show you too much of that. It's my pile of ones I've watched, so I keep them stacked up so I can talk about them on the recent watches. So one I've watched the longest ago goes on the bottom, more recent one on the top, so when I come to recording it, they're all in the correct order. Once I get new films, I usually also stack them on here until I got time to put them away, file them away into the collection. Get more horror DVDs. So this is one of these sort of size cabinets, but I've stacked it on top of one of these big deep ones. So this can go too deep. This shelf of horror and the next one, I only have one facing. They're a bit annoying because they do slide backwards and a lot of dust gets there. And then the horror one ends on Yellow Brick Road. Got some animated. Again, don't watch too many of these. Robin Hood I do love. The Disney one, obviously Cloud Over Chats and Meatballs. An American Tail, really good one. But yeah, more for family and stuff. Sorry, that's my cat's litter scraping tool. I have moved his litter tray out of the room for this, but forgot that was in the corner. Then it goes on to the TV series. So these are stacked too deep. Don't really think I've got many TV series on Blu-ray. A lot of them haven't been upgraded to Blu-ray or 4K, but also I do have, when I sort of bought a lot of these, obviously I could only get them on DVD. So yeah, ones like Eerie, Indiana, Monkey Dust, Nighty Night, I think they are all stuck on DVD. Let me show you. This is the stool that I use for recording videos. I'll put it back here for now that I've recorded that. So yeah, I usually keep it over in that corner. Now on to the boutique one. So I'm sure everybody knows this top shelf. You can see it in the background, although sometimes it is obscured by my head. Here's the Arrow special editions. So I keep them front on, not just because I like the artwork and that, but again with future proofing. Once I've got more stuff, whether it's eventually more Arrow, or whether I, even start moving these standard ones over to there to build more space. Once I pick up, more standard Blu-rays and that, I can just turn some of these sideways and create a load more space. But yeah, a couple of shelves, 3 shelves, 2 wide of the boutiques. Few there. Witness reminds me I've got to get around to watching that. Heard good things. I know Stuart George said it's a good one. Stuart George's home movies. So I've got my Arrow video standard. Some of these are 4K with slip cases, but they are all standard kind of editions. Another shelf of those. Like I said, I'm not going to go over each title, so it's not really, expecting you to pause it and see what the titles are. It's more just to show the layout and how many films and that I've got. Well, actually, somehow Zombie Flesh Eater's special edition has got down there. I'll have to move that in a second. Also put that back when I was drunk. A couple of the out of print, well, 5 I think. Arrow, the old DVD white window box set. Then I've only got 2 Arrow Academy. Well, obviously other than the game special edition, but The Night of the Hunter and Sleeping Dogs. And then as you've probably seen the other day, if you've watched the Indicator overview, the Indicator section, I got 25 of those. Then on to the 101 section. A few special editions. That ends on Toy Soldiers. And I've got Criterion. Don't have too many of those, as you can see. Then I've got a few BFI titles. So Kronos, Nil by Mouth, Seven Samurai, Watership Down. Eric the Viking and Mandy. Just a couple of kind of special editions, but on random labels. So I stack them there. Oh, I nearly forgot this. Up on this top shelf, got the Ring 4K set, the remake. This Phantasm Ball, which I used to have over in the middle, but I moved it to here for what's the word? Symmetry. Because when it was on the left or right, obviously there wasn't anything else that kind of shape. Then Pet Cemetery 4K set, and I've got my Second Sight collection. On a really tall, big set. Again, these could probably go too deep. I don't want to hide any of them, but maybe in the future when I run out of space, I'll have to. Hitcher, one of the best releases in a long time. Let me move my cat's little scratching post. Those I've had all sideways on because I just can't fit them front on. But yeah, mostly special editions of Second Sight, and then a few, if I can get in there, the standard editions. But yeah, where I can. Yeah, a bit bad really. I sort of buy so many of these special edition boxes. A lot of the time I don't read the book that comes within it. I don't do much with the postcards or art cards, as Marcus Maxwell 2708 calls them. Sometimes it's like double the price, but yeah, I just like having it on the best kind of version possible. And yeah, the artwork and that's just a lot better, especially when you've got them front on. Does cost more money. Some of these, to be fair, you can only get the special edition. You can't always get the standard. So, if you want them, you might have to get the special edition. But yeah, that's the Second Sight area. And I've got the Treasured Films. I've got all of their releases so far. The ones that are available on these special editions, I do have. Santa Sangra. Just got it in there because nowhere else to fit it. I might fit it down there, actually, if I can. In that little gap. Then on to the Premium Collection. So when I did a little video overview of these, I think I only had 13. I think now I've got 21. So yeah, got quite a few of those. Only try and buy them if they got the slip and they're in good condition. Then on to the 88 Films section. Most of them sideways on, but a couple of these, Devil Fetus and Her Vengeance front on. Not only just because I like the artwork, but again, once I get more 88 Films or whatever, I can turn them sideways and fit them in easily. Bottom shelf, more 88 Films, mostly special editions. And then I've got 3 of these slasher classics. Don't really collect them, but the Bogeyman is a video nasty. Maniac, an old gritty, nasty kind of slasher. with Joe Spinell. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, probably my second favourite made-for-TV movie after Salem's Lot, which incidentally is coming out on 4K on Arrow Video. I know Giz Parsons is looking forward to that. Then I've got these golden Japaniki ones. I think they're all limited edition. I'm not too bothered on them, but I guess good if you can get the limited one, more value, and if you do want to sell them or trade them in CX in the future, they'll be worth more. Yeah, quite a few of those. And these pink ones are kind of part of a Japaniki, well, the Nikatsu. Still 88 films, but yeah, they are kind of like softcore porn. So I think you can get about 10 of those, but I don't try and collect them all. So yeah, I'm not interested in a lot of them, but these two I have, Girl Hell and Watcher in the Attic, are actually well-made films. And to be fair, less pornographic than some of these, Category 3 films from Hong Kong, like Erotic Ghost Story, for example, shows you a lot more nudity than these pink ones do. And I've got the Book of Nine. A special edition. It's an animated film. It's quite a dark one. Right, let me move Zombie Flesh Eaters to there quickly. Yeah, I'll give you a quick overview, just so you can see how many I've got. So yeah, I've got one cabinet there, almost full. This cabinet in the middle, full. Wow, little space there on the right. Obviously, I've got a few I've watched. Briefly show you that are to be filed back in here, so that's why you can see a few gaps. This cabinet, full. Yeah, I think I've got more Blu-rays than DVDs, but I still have got a lot of DVDs, to be fair. And that cabinet there. Lady I used to work with was good at sewing and that. She made me this little Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's always been a favourite of mine. Then yeah, this is like 4 small cabinets stacked on top of each other. Hopefully they won't fall down and smash up my collection, but they seem quite safe. Oh, nearly forgot. See if I can get that way on. Second sight, big tall cabinet. Does jut out a bit further than the rest. A bit annoying, but I didn't really measure it properly before I bought it. I checked the width, but not the depth. And this little cabinet, like I said, I'm going to get another one of these. Shut that along to the left a bit so I can fit another to the right. Can't really go too much higher. It'll be blocking the window. Or you might say that's a good thing, being as I get so much glare on my videos. My cat scratching post, just randomly in here. My stool for recording. Yeah, that's... Oh, and some cat litter still in there. Yeah, that's the overview of my collection. Not really counted how many I've got. I guess over 2,000 films. I know when Sammy G from Sammy G's World of Cinema, shout out to Sammy, great guy. He's doing his like watch pile. I'm guessing, I haven't counted them, but I must have at least 300 unwatched films, if not more. But yeah, hopefully that's interesting. Just a little... Oh, there's another air freshener. Obviously, even though it's the movie room, my cat's litter tray is usually in here. Just no other space in other rooms. Don't want it in my bedroom or the kitchen or anywhere unhygienic. So I have to have a few air fresheners in here. Yeah, hopefully that's interesting. Yeah, I just thought I'd show everybody what the movie room's like. Because, you know, it's one thing showing a video of even going over all the Arrow collection. But, yeah, thought I'd show the kind of space I've got in here. Oh, forgive my work shirt hanging up. So, yeah, it's not a massive room and it's all around the edges. It's a lot of floor space in the middle that I can't really do too much with. I guess I could get what they call a console in the middle. But then when I'm recording, this is where I kind of sit my stool here. And then I put my phone on this bit facing me. And then I have the films I'm showing on here and bring them off one by one. I usually, I'll just show you for context, just like stack one like that, and then I bring them down to show them. Yeah, obviously if I did have a console or something in the middle, I wouldn't have much space to sit back on my stool, only to like here. So yeah, eventually I will run out of space, but I guess that's every collector's problem, dust and space. Although I've got a lot more space than other people, so yeah, I don't take it for granted. Third world problems, I guess. But yeah, hopefully that's been interesting. An overview of the whole movie room. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye.